Before anyone gets pissed off by the thumbnail, I'm just gonna say right here and now, she's pixels, she's not fucking real, it's a joke, she's 22 apparently online, look it up, I don't fucking know all this shit. She's not real, it's a stupid ass meme. Get bent, Twitter. So, I did a vote on my YouTube thing to see who was gonna get this video, and Jing Yuan and Xuan were the ones who got the most votes. They weren't tied, granted, but at the same time, I kind of want to talk about both anyway, and doing one big video on both, as opposed to two smaller, separate videos, seems better. Especially because Xuan kind of is the reason I wanted to talk about Jing Yuan anyway. So let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about Xuan first, because as much as I want to talk about Jing Yuan, her gimmick and kit are what make him work, so I think it's more important to just go over her shit first than talk about him. So let's do that. So first things first, Xuan's main gimmick is that, like any good woman, she can take a beating. Fucking Jesus, that joke is dark as shit. I'm sorry. I'm not actually sorry, I don't care. But yeah, anyway, she is a preservation character. She's designed to be tanky. So that leads into her second gimmick, that being that, technically speaking, she is the lowest investment character in the game. You can give her just HP percent and nothing else, and she will be good. She will do her job and do it good, and she will not die, because who needs to live when you just tank shit for days? At most, for Eidolons or Constellations or whatever you call them, depending on what game you started with, technically her E1 is the best you can get, because that makes her go from being solely preservation to preservation and absolutely harmony, because getting HP percent, crit rate, and crit damage just from using her skill for 3 turns for your whole party, yeah, that's pretty fucking good. I don't think anyone's gonna argue that. As for light cones, you don't really need her main one unless you're gonna give her stats to do damage, which, to be fair, even though I said she's a low investment, once you get stuff to make her actually good and do damage, you don't have a reason really not to do that. Like, if you can make your tank also hit like a tank, why wouldn't you do that? That just doesn't not make sense to me. That sounds like something you would want to do by default. Just saying. So with all that being said, considering that her main gimmick is just damage redirection and mitigating the majority of damage your party members take, so that, you know, your important fucking dingus dorks like Dan L or Silver Wolf don't die, that's a pretty good role to have. And with her also being a buffer as well, that's a pretty solid and important role for a character to fulfill. That puts her definitely at like mid SS tier. She's not in the echelon of triple S tier that Locha, Bronya, Silverwolf, and now Dan Il, not Sele. She's back down in SS now because Dan IL is just bullshit and stupid. But I might make a video on that as well, but yeah. But yeah, she's definitely a solid pick and does a lot of stuff good. And what a shocker, because of that makes Jing Yuan less shit. So let's talk about that.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? I'm Alejandro-san, Kiki Films Kagmaster, whatever the heck you want to call me.
So, like, we all know what Jing Yuan's kit is, right? You use the skill, you get more number. The more number you got, the more Star Platinum beats women. Fuck, I'm being weirdly more sexist than usual today. Whatever. As for light cones, big shocker, his own is probably his most viable one. Who would have thought that? But if you don't have it, then Genius's Repose is probably your best bet. Then, at least at S5, because, well, getting attack percent and only attack is kind of bad, getting that 48 crit damage if you kill something, especially something weak, yeah, that's pretty good. You get it for 3 turns too, so it lasts the same amount as Fu Zhuan's crit damage buff if he got her E1, so yeah, 78 crit damage just by playing the game. That's pretty good. Speaking of Fu Zhuan and Jing Yuan fighting together on the same team, why would you want to do that? Well, for starters, Fu just helps everyone on your team not die, so that's pretty good. Plus, she gives more crit rate too, so considering you probably want Jing Yuan to have at least some crit rate as well, like you want him to have really high crit damage and pretty good crit rate, which is a big problem for Erudition characters because you really need to high invest the shit out of them to make them actually good, as opposed to Destruction or even Hunt characters. But if you can pull it off and you have 2 really good buffers, then yeah, Jing Yuan can do his job. And why couldn't he do his job before? Because what were your other options for Harmony characters? You had Bronya, which Bronya is just universally good. You had Ting Yun, but she was not tanky at all and could get just mollywopped and solo targeted easily. And you had Yukong now in 1.1 whatever, or 1.2, same fucking difference. You had Yukong, who wasn't bad, but she was also frail, and her buffs are even shorter lasting than Ting Yun, so not great. But yeah, Fu Zhuan just gives good buffs, and with the right buffs and the right idol on, she does let Jing Yuan not suck as much, because he's still about a 7 out of 10 as opposed to every other 5-star in the game, save for Himiko. But anyways, yeah, that was this video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you want to subscribe to my channel, okay, thank you, I appreciate it, but it's not mandatory at all, it's just my dumbass hobby. And yeah, I'm gonna leave just stuff about info, song, season, video in the description, and I'll see you friggin' beautiful 18 to 24-year-old men who watch my channel, I guess, 'cause that's what YouTube analytics say. Next time, no homo.